Hi, my name's Tiffany Calcutt. I'm the registered dietitian here at Hampshire Hills. Today, we're doing some myth busting on sugar. Oh, so many people think that sugar is the culprit, and it's not. So there was one study done over 50 years ago by a doctor on one child who, I guess, behavior improved when the doctor took out sugar. But since that time, there have been over a dozen other studies that have shown that sugar does not make kids hyperactive. And what we need to think about is the environment that often kids are in when they're having extra candy, birthday cake, and ice cream. And those are usually parties or holidays, and those things are just really exciting in their own right. You know, there's so many different types of sugar out there, and some cost a lot more than others. Some are organic, some are non-GMO, and all different ways that they can be marketed. The reality is, in the body, they get processed the same way. And so, yeah, maple syrup and some other things have more, some trace minerals and maybe a little bit of vitamins, but really they are being processed the same way in the body. So, eat what you like. Oh, sugar definitely tastes good, and it lights up that reward center in our brain. Food addiction is not a real evidence-based thing. So I think we have to be careful with using the word addiction. There are lots of things like nursing a baby, listening to great music, falling in love, that light up that reward center in our brain. And sugar definitely does that too. So does a combination of sugar and salt and fat. But to say it's addictive is not accurate. You know, I think that's taking things way too far. I don't think there's really many particular foods that are, good or bad. They all have context, right? And so my approach is about, that all foods can fit, and sugar is definitely not poison. Bleach is. Yeah, so I've heard this a bunch of times, that people say, oh, if somebody has cancer, they should just cut sugar out of their diet. There's a problem with that statement for a couple of reasons. First of all, often when somebody is diagnosed with cancer and they have to go through chemotherapy and radiation, a much larger concern is, can they keep their weight? So here you are telling somebody not to eat, ruling out a lot of different foods that may be important for them to keep their weight on, and you're telling them to just cut it all out. So that's one problem. The second main problem is actually that we need a lot more research in this area to know if sugar is promoting the growth of cancer. So the Mayo Clinic has also said that they do know that adding more sugar in a diet doesn't necessarily cause cancer cells themselves to grow bigger and faster, nor does reducing the amount of sugar around cancer cells cause them to shrink. So there are definitely some myths that are in that statement. That's a great question, and I think the answer really has a lot to do with diet culture. So we here in the United States love to talk about diets. It's almost like, hey, what religion are you? I'm paleo, I'm Whole30, I'm keto. So it's a place like kind of to belong, and I think sugar is right now like one of those focal points that sort of say, oh, it's easy. If you just cut out sugar, you'll be everything. You'll be healthy, you'll live forever, you'll be beautiful too. And if we rewind back to the 1980s, it was all about fat. Fat was the enemy, and so you had Snackwell cookies that were no fat. What they do, put in a lot of sugar to give the taste, a boost when they took out the fat. And so I feel like the target just changes, and really it's about maybe just sort of having a little bit of everything and not too much of anything. But I do think having more plants and more vegetables is always a good idea. My approach is an anti-diet approach. So I'm all about helping people achieve their optimal health through sound nutrition, and then a really positive relationship with food. So often looking more at what can we add, what are some strategic snacks and meals that can serve an individual well, and not about telling you all the stuff that you can't have, because that just doesn't wind up working.